Welcome back, YouTube. Most of you probably know there's a pretty interesting Nibiru-themed event going on in Master Duel right now, and I was able to speedrun this event going 3-0 with a deck that I've been getting back into recently, Labrynth. So I live recorded me logging in the other day and playing through the games, so I'm just going to chat with you all a little bit over that recording now. I was expecting most people to respect Nibiru in this event, being that it's guaranteed in everyone's opening hand. That seems to be not the case. Most people were just trying to set up their one Omni Negate before their 5th summon. But as you see, the 3 copies of Soul Drain in my deck, I was expecting a lot of graveyard reliant or recurring types of decks. So we were running cards like that. But let's just hop into the first replay here. All right, so pretty solid opening hand, and then we get the Nibiru, which is just an extra 6th card for everyone. All right, so we're going to just activate Lord, set Daruma, set Big Welcome. The evenly match probably would have made this maybe a better going second hand. Okay, so Pot of Extravagance. I'm assuming that we're going up against Labrynth, a mirror match. Based off of that, not many other decks play Extravagance, other than maybe Fluanderis. Okay, so pretty clearly going to be like a Dark Magician deck. Based off of that card, yep, so there's Magician's Rod. Not going to activate anything on that. But yeah, Labrynth is a deck that I've been really getting into recently. It's a deck that I've felt has just been one of the strongest, if not the best, in Master Duel for a long time, because it's avoided just about every ban list, honestly. It's pretty much at full power, other than a couple of the furniture cards getting limited. So it's a deck that I really wanted to start playing again. I didn't have a lot of the newer cards yet, like I didn't have 3 big welcome. And then, you know, with transaction rollback and RES coming out now, I needed to acquire those cards before I could play the deck comfortably. Then you even have some non-engine cards, technically, like Daruma, Karmic Cannon, which are just so great for this deck. So we'll go Big Welcome, Chain Lady. Bring out the Lovely. That will trigger Lord as well. And I'm trying to pop that card in the back row. I'm assuming it's Eternal Soul, which it ends up being the case. So we'll set Extrav of our own. Yep, and this is all on end phase, mind you, so we're in a pretty good spot here. Draw a Welcome for turn, that's great. First things first, we have to do Extrav. Solemn Strike, and another Evenly is not great, but definitely don't mind seeing Solemn Strike in hand. Alright, so they're playing some Witchcrafter cards, which is interesting. Okay, so it actually bounces my special summon monster back to the hand. But no big deal. I'm just going to take this card out because this does allow them to recur spells, I believe. And then we have our Solemn Strike. Another Welcome. And I guess just setting the Evenly. In case we get a rollback or something, we're able to get that into the graveyard. Doesn't hurt to set the Evenly matched. Okay, Mahad is going to be a free special summon. Not going to Solemn Strike that. I mean, they could go into Chaos Angel here, technically, but I would just Solemn Strike the summon of that card then. Okay, so they'll draw one. Dark Magical Circle is, I would say, hands down the most problematic card when going against Dark Magician. Okay, so Tribute Summon for Dark Magician so that they can trigger the circle. And they're going to target Lord, that's fine. They're going to get a draw off of the Piercing the Darkness. It's not really worth me activating anything here. I'll save all of my trap disruptions. Okay, so they're going to try to set a Dark Burning Magic, or Dark Magic attack, I believe. Also special summoning the Dark Magician Girl. This deck was really interesting. So, alright, so they're going to try to destroy all spells and traps with that. I'm just going to chain everything then. This deck was very interesting. This guy was playing like 3 Dark Magician Girls, 3 Dark Magicians. Very odd ratios, but yeah, we're just going to chain the Karma Cannon as well, just to save us the damage. Bring out Ariana so that we can trigger a search. They're going to chain Secrets of Dark Magic to fuse. Just let that resolve. Don't remember what I do here. I could technically, with Ariana, search for a furniture, send Lovely to the graveyard, set a card to protect the lady. Oh, you know what? In this build, I was not playing furniture, so disregard that. And yeah, before they get any draws, or I could be wrong, but I think that's what the Dark Magician does. I'm just going to return that to the extra deck, and they'll pass turn. Draw Ice Dragons is incredible against this deck. They're pretty much all spellcasters they're running. We'll set that. Set the big welcome. And we'll swing for a little damage here. Okay, so they'll chain the Magic Karibo. And bring out Dark Magician. So they won't be able to target Lady. So they'll go for Ariana. Probably should have hit one of my back row, honestly. Alright, so this is triggering a bunch of stuff for them. They're going to draw a card, and then the field spell, I don't remember exactly what that's doing. Bringing out Dark Magician Girl, sure. So they're going to tribute to bring back out Rod to get another... Oh, bring it back to hand. Alright, so we'll just take out the Dark Magician. We can always Ice Dragon it if we need to. That will recycle back to hand as well. That's kind of annoying. And yeah, we'll just pass there. We're in a pretty good spot. We have Lady that can chain to either one of those traps to search us whatever we need. Trap card wise. So Rod again. Get Soul Servant. Yep, we'll let that go through. Yeah, so they're going to place the bond between teacher and student on the top of the deck so that they can draw it again. And here I think I was considering using the Ice Dragons. Yeah, so that's a pretty big draw there. Magician Souls. Bring out a Dark Magician. Again, they still can't target the Lady. So they'll target the Big Welcome, kind of forcing us to activate that there. Okay, they're going to get their draw and their summon again. Maxi. So bring out another Ariana. Considering, yeah, just bouncing her back. I don't want to give them any more draws off Maxi. I could bounce the Lady, obviously, but... Welcome will set itself back on the field. So they're going to try to Raigeki. Lady cannot be destroyed when I have a set card on the field, or if there's any set card, it could be a monster as well. Bond between teacher and student. So yeah, here I'm wondering like what else they're going to set, if they're going to set another Dark Burning Magic or whatever, the one that destroys all spells and traps. But they set Dark Burning Attack, which again can't destroy Lady. Okay, so this is going to boost up the attack of Dark Magician. So again, here I'm kind of forced to use the Ice Dragons now, but there's two Dark Magicians in the one in the graveyard, one in the field. I'll be able to banish both of those. We'll chain Lady now to get a search. And I think we just end up going with punishment. Yeah, I mean, Virus would be good to hit all their spells, as well as the, I believe it's different dimension ground to banish all cards sent to the graveyard for that turn. But we're just going to get punishment. So we banished both Dark Magicians that they had in play. Okay, so they'll try to activate this again. Can't be destroyed. And yeah, they surrender there, I think, realizing that Lady was just going to be too difficult to deal with. So I will go more in depth into playing Labrynth and how the cards work, if that's something you guys were looking for more in this video. I've been grinding with Labrynth in ranked a lot, and I plan on doing a series of taking it from gold to platinum, platinum to diamond, diamond to masters, all that good stuff. So I will be doing multiple videos of eventually my master tier Labrynth deck. So stick around for that if that's more the type of content you were looking for with this. This was just a very quick speed run, slightly different build as well of my Labrynth deck for this event specifically. All right, so not a ton of engine and really no way to trigger Lady. But we're just going to set 4. Okay, so Live Twin, I know a little bit how this deck works. Basically, once they get a second level 2 on the field, especially if they are also playing Sprite, I'm just going to Torrential Tribute here because they can't Link Summon, use it, which is what they want to do. They want to be able to Link using these two. Then they'd also freely be able to Special Summon level 2 Sprites onto the field if they are playing that. So yeah, we're just going to Torrential the field. They've already normal summoned as well. Not going to chain Lady to this because she will get popped by that. Now we can safely chain Lady. They're going to chain Starter. So yeah, I was correct. It is also a Sprite variant of Live Twin. So they'll bring out blue. I'm assuming they're going to go straight for Carrot, which is the Spell and Trap Negate, if I'm not mistaken, which could be kind of annoying, but Lady's already on the field, and we could just swing over that during battle phase and then freely use our traps. Yeah, so Carrot. So they'll bring out the Carrot. They'll set. And basically, once they go for the Gigantic Sprite, they're going to have to use both of these monsters unless they had another in the hand. Yeah, so that works out perfectly. We have the D barrier to negate this. So we're going to wait for them to activate. Yep, so that will negate Xyz monsters for the rest of the turn. They also can't summon any more Xyz. Chain Lady to that. And technically our Nibiru was live there also, but I'm not gonna clear my Lady off the board. So we said a big welcome just to get our engine rolling. So battle phase. Yeah, I think they were just trying to bait something out of me. And they'll surrender. All right, so we're 2-0 so far. Going on to our third and final game. All right, so we are going second this time. And with Lava Golem and Nibiru, I feel pretty good going second. Okay, so Terratop. We're going to add another Speedroid, which so the Take Tomborg, they can special summon as well. And this game was a prime example of the types of decks that are just trying to bring out an Omni Negate before their 5th summon, so they can just not worry about Nibiru. So it ends up being a Burning Abyss, DPE, adventure type of a deck, which I think used to be very popular in Master Duel. Is not. I definitely haven't seen this deck in a long time. So Rite of Aramasir. I got the token. Fateful Adventure. And yeah, there's the Griffin Rider. That's basically their safety plan for Nibiru. So yeah, that was exactly their 5th summon. Nibiru would be activatable. Not going to waste it yet. I believe I do during the end phase just throw the Nibiru out there kind of to force them to shuffle that back. I think my thought process on that is that I can Lava Golem 2 other monsters and not have to waste one of the tributes on the Griffin Rider. All right, so equipping to the token. This was definitely a longer, I won't say like a grindier duel. It's just their first turn took forever. The Dark Magician deck, the first game, that was surprisingly a grindy game. Usually, I know how Dark Magician works pretty well. It's Dean's favorite, probably his only deck that he really plays. And I mean, I was kind of clowning on the amount of Dark Magician girls and Dark Magician that player was playing, but it did actually make the deck more annoying to deal with. Just continually searching and searching for these blowout cards, which luckily didn't do anything to our Labrynth deck, but pretty interesting way to play Dark Magician. Overall, definitely not ideal. I mean, the amount of times you probably see, 2 Dark Magicians or 2 Dark Magician girls in your opening hand, you never want to see that, obviously. So still going with the Phantom Knight stuff. So Leviair can bring back a banished monster. And I'm not going to lie, once they dropped the Fusion Destiny, this was a pretty imposing board that they set up. Did not expect to win this game, actually. But we basically end up setting up a board ourselves on like turn 2 or 3 that you'll see what happens, but it basically forces them into a pretty bad position. So Enchantress comes back. Okay, so Anaconda. Right, okay. So that's how they went into the DP. They Anaconda send the Fusion Destiny. And Fogblade can be a pretty annoying card. I think they're going to set up at least 2 of them on their field. However, with Big Welcome, we can just bounce back whatever monster they equip that to. So yeah, Malicious and Denier for DPE. So they'll set, I'm assuming, the Fogblade, or at least one of those definitely is. Yeah, so I'm just going to go for Nibiru at the end of main phase, forcing them to have to use that Griffin Rider. Otherwise, DPE will be tributed and then will not come back. Realistically, I could have tributed off the Griffin Rider and the DPE, just putting the Griffin Rider in the grave, but decided to just get it off the field. Okay, end phase, a little shaky connection. Okay, so finally our turn. Lord is great to see because that will protect all of our back row from DPE, which is going to be the most annoying thing for Labrynth. So we'll go Prosperity right off the top. Usually try to save the as many Entis as I can and at least one Garura. Okay, so now they're going to bring out the Griffin Rider. Guess they had that one in hand also. Solemn Strike is good. I think that's what we end up taking. We could take the Ariana. I think that's what I was considering to maybe bait out a negate. But then they also have the Fog Blade. So to play around the Fog Blades, I think Solemn Strike is just our best option. Yeah, so we end up taking that. And so before we activate Lord or anything, which will just get negated, I'm just going to tribute off the DPE, which will not be able to come back now. And they do not have an Omni negate as far as we know anymore. So we'll activate Lord. I'm not sure if they actually have a play here on Lord or just the bad connection. Okay, that resolves. And we'll just go end phase. So the fact that they have the token on the field is going to be the issue that I was alluding to earlier. The issue for them, that is. Okay, Lava Golem will burn them. And we have the Solemn Strike if they potentially link off into like an access code. Can just negate the summon. Trap Trick could realistically go into anything. Daruma would be pretty good against this field right now as well. Okay, so they're going to bring back their free bodies from the Fusion Destiny play. Yep. So Denier will put back one of the malicious on the top of the deck. Oh, no. Okay, so they put back DPE. Yeah, I guess they haven't banished to summon another malicious yet. Basically, at this point, waiting to see if they were able to synchro into like a Barone or something. The D barrier would be able to trigger Our Lady, trigger Our Lord. All right, so Unicorn comes out. I'm going to let them discard. And we could just Solemn Strike the effect I'm just trying to let them... I realize some of their cards probably could trigger in graveyard, but I'm just trying to get them to burn resources. I just feel a little bit better if they had less cards in hand. So, perfect. They target the Solemn Strike anyway, which is what I was going to do. So we get rid of that. So it kind of takes away their access code play if they even were going to go for that. And yeah, so I think I end up going... Okay, no, so we don't trigger Lord's Effect here, but Lord's Effect to set from the deck, I believe, is all part of the same effect, so they wouldn't be able to Fog Blade it, technically. If Lord summons, he's going to be able to set a card from Spell or Trap from the deck, regardless. Okay, so now Malicious comes out. Alright, and they're going to try to bounce back D-Barrier. And I want to say I think I just let this go through. I think I was considering potentially a Chaos Angel play there, but the Adventure Token would not fit the criteria for that. Yeah, so against maybe my better judgment, I let that just bounce back to hand. But like I said, we still have Trap Trick, which can get us basically anything that we need to deal with this field. Yeah, so on activation of that, now I have to activate Trap Trick. Otherwise, it'll just get negated. Unfortunately, the way this will resolve, though, is whatever I set off of Trap Trick could then be negated by Griffin Rider. So we're just going to have to fire off before Griffin can negate the Lady as well. So this is the way that I end up trying to deal with this. We're going to set Daruma Karma Cannon. And after that resolves, Lord will trigger to set. And I believe, yeah, so this is where my opponent messes up. They couldn't have known this, I guess, but they should have negated this because, like I said, that's all one effect where now Lord will freely set a card from the deck. Yeah, and you'll see what we're going to set here in a minute, which puts them in a really tough spot. Yeah, so I'm contemplating, like, evenly paired up with the Daruma is kind of the perfect counter because Daruma, I'm not going to activate either of these until the next turn. Daruma will flip the Griffin Rider face down, which will be forced to negate that, which will then make the evenly free to activate as well. Now, the fact that they have a token on the field, tokens cannot be banished face down, so they would have to banish every single card on the field other than the token. So they're in a pretty tough spot if I, go this route. Yeah, So once they see that, I think they realize that that's the situation that they're in, basically. All right, so that's 3 wins in a row. Now, granted, what I just told you, I still wasn't in the greatest position there. I'm not sure why they surrendered. They still had enough cards in hand. But either way, we just speedrun the event. We got a free pack. And okay, so super rare. Not bad from a free pack.